All right, y'all, welcome back. So, we're going to talk about Sunday mornings, otherwise known in our household as the Super Bowl of parenting. The mission: get everyone dressed, fed, and out of the door to church on time. Spoiler alert, we have never once won the game. Usually it's been in overtime and then we've lost. And let me share a little bit about what I'm talking about, right? So, have you ever noticed on Sunday mornings you feel like a full-blown Broadway production is happening at your home, right? We've got wardrobe malfunctions. We've got, missing shoes. We've got missing socks. We've got, hey, I can't find my comb to comb my hair. Oh, by the way, did you brush your teeth? And then when you think it's all good and you're ready to rock and roll, well, then you've got the negotiations begin on whether we're going to eat a cereal bar, cereal. We don't have the right type of cereal. And then, just to add to the chaos, your toddler starts screaming, right? Like we just asked her to donate a kidney because she can't find her stuffed unicorn that she wants to put in her cute little purse. And are you ever tired of just leaving your house, right? Feeling like you survived a hostage negotiation? Ask your doctor if Saturday night prep is right for you. Now, here's what this episode is really about, and this is what I really wanted to talk about today, is the two-car strategy we have in our house, right? I like to take my sports car out on the weekends. It's literally the only time I plan to drive it. And so we take two cars to church, not because we can't fit all of us into my wife's car. Oh, no. It's a strategy. And I get my 7-year-old in my car, and my wife takes the toddler in hers, right? That way, my son and I have 20 minutes to drive where we actually listen to worship music and have real conversations without my 3-year-old hijacking from the back seat every sentence with, "Mommy, Daddy, look at my Cheerio. Daddy, did you know Jesus loves me and this Cheerio?" Yes, sweetheart. That's amazing. Now, please don't grind that Cheerio in the car. And that's another reason why I prefer not to ride in my wife's car on Sundays, is because of the food. And there'll be a whole other episode about eating in your car. But that 20-minute drive with my son, it is literally my favorite part of the whole morning, my whole weekend, and my whole week. It reminds me of being around his age with my own dad, right? My dad was a mechanic. We'd hop into his car, head down to the auto parts store, rocking out to things like Fleetwood Mac or the Beatles, sometimes classical Indian music. And I thought it was the greatest ever, and it was. We didn't always talk much, but when we did, oh man, when he spoke, those words stuck. He'd slide in a life lesson like a mechanic sliding under a car, with precision. Working harder than most, he would say things like, working harder than people around you is what gets you further in life. Nothing in life is ever free because there's always a cost. My favorite, and I'm sure he waited until I was a little older when he would say this to me, but when you find your wife, it better be more than about good looks, which is awesome and quite hilarious to me today, right? Because Dad, I hit a home run, right? My wife is beautiful and she puts up with my off-key singing. She has a very closely related entrepreneurial spirit and very ambitious and super, super, super smart. So Sunday mornings are kind of like a cocktail of emotions in my house, right? You've got all of the stress because someone's socks don't match, usually mine. You've got just nonstop comedy if you have the ability to laugh and laugh at yourself and laugh at the things around you, because when your toddler comes out of her room wearing a swimsuit declaring she's ready for church, right? You better laugh. But the gratitude, right? Because all of these things is what makes you and your unit, your family. And then that little sneaky little moment of reflection where you realize these car rides, these conversations, this chaos, this is what those kids are going to remember when they're grown. And maybe one day, when my son is driving to church with his own kid, he'll play worship music or the Beatles or Fleetwood Mac, and he'll remember those mornings. And, he'll slip in one of those dadisms, maybe a couple of dad jokes as well, that secretly last a lifetime. Because I'd forgotten about a lot of those things that my dad told me when I was a kid, when I was riding in his car. But they're sure coming out today. So Sunday mornings, look, aren't supposed to be easy. They aren't easy, but they're holy in their own way. The chaos, the family, the car rides, that's legacy. And the loud, toddler having a meltdown with food stuck all to her face, well, that's just parenting. All right, y'all. So thanks for joining me for another quick round of whatever these episodes are. I'm going to get deeper on some of those things. I think they're just so much fun to look back and realize how much influence those conversations I had with my father have on my life today. But if you like this, subscribe, follow, share, because if you made it to church on time with your kids, you basically deserve a medal or at least free coffee refills. So, peace.